up, everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 639. I'm gonna go ahead and speak this one into existence. Oh man, that shot where Zoro stops the drunken swords, the fish swordsman. That's gonna be my cover for a thumbnail. That's gonna be hot. That is hot. That is some good artwork, and I like how one of the things Zoro says, yeah, this is gonna be this is my warm up for the new world. Key word, he said this is my warm up, and it makes sense. And this guy's taking energy steroids, sure, whatever. The reason why I say this is interesting, he's already taken on the boss, and he dragged his dick across the face of the boss, and his sweaty ball sack, and told him go do his laundry. Okay, so clearly Zoro's on a different level, which is why he says like, hey, this is my warm-up. But you got Nico Robin in this chapter. I thought it was pretty interesting, right? Nico Robin is handling her business, handling lightweight, right? And she's using the flower fruit, and then Zoro comes in and ends up saving her, right? And the reason why I think that's interesting is in this chapter, you got Sanji coming to the defense of Nami, and now you have Zoro coming to the defense of Nico Robin. I'm not going in that whole pairing rabbit hole bullshit, because you already know where I stand on that shit. You know, you got Luffy, and you got Nami. That shit gotta happen. Fuck Boy Hancock. So, but the reason why I say that is, I mean, that's interesting. You know, I know some of you guys said, Oda said, oh, romance won't happen between the straw hats. And hey, if that ends up being true, totally cool with it. But I mean, that's one of those moments. Maybe that's a red herring. But what I also thought was interesting is, for all of Zoro and Sanji's differences, the fact that they got that in common, that hey, like, hey, this is a woman, I'm gonna help out. It just shows these guys they're cut from the same cloth. But what I also find interesting, right, and this is something I've been thinking about for a little bit, right, is you had like this chapter cover, and you had, I think, the guy who trained Zoro, Kuina's father. You know, I think they were at the grave or something. And this is what kind of got me, was it's like when you first got introduced to Zoro, when he was a child. I think this was chapter 4. I'm pretty sure this is chapter 4. You know, for those of you who, a lot of you guys have been with me for a long ass time, and so you know, like, I've been watching the anime at my leisure. I'm in no rush to get caught up. I mean, fuck, I'm reviewing fucking chapters from 20 fucking years ago. I think this one's probably 12 years ago. So, I mean, I'm in no rush to get caught up. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, in chapter 4, Zoro comes to the dojo that Kuina's father's at, right? And he comes in and, you know, challenges, wants to be this swordsman. But Zoro came in with the sword and everything, I'm not mistaken. And that's Zoro's origin story. But where the fuck did he get the sword from? Why does he have interest in swords? And that's something I'm looking at and I'm going, where is that coming from? Okay, like, because when we first get introduced to Zoro, when Luffy meets Kobe and all those, I think Zoro and Luffy was Zoro's origin is chapter 6. It's very early on in fucking One Piece. Very early on. It's in the first volume. But the reason why I say this is, like, he's got this whole thing with being the swordsman. He trained under one of the 7 warlords. And so I'm looking at that and I'm going, now he's warming up against this guy. And it's just like, where is Oda taking Zoro's character arc? Where is he taking that? Because it seems like at every turn there's something that kind of goes back to it. And I know from some of you guys, you know, comments, you say watch the cover stories, because they kind of feed into stuff. They feed into it. And if you guys will remember, when you look at like Dragon's ship, okay, like when Dragon's ship is going all through the different place, one of the things we got was we saw Zoro training. We saw him training, and Kuina was doing her thing. And you know how I feel. I think Tashigi is actually Kuina. I know, hey, when you see the body, we saw it get buried. But I mean, the similarities are too there. They're way too there. Too in your face. I mean, that's something I'm gonna watch. But at every turn, you've seen something with Zoro and a swordsman. And I want to know where his arc is going. This is something I've wanted to know for a very long time, and so I'm interested to see. Excuse me. I'm interested to see what the ramifications of this fight with the Drunken Swordsmaster are, because if we get an opportunity to see Zoro get pressed and pushed, and it's because of the unpredictable nature of the whole Drunken Fist stuff, then I'd be very, very happy with that. I think it'd be a great payoff. But at the same time, I look at Zoro's different fights and interactions with different swordsmen. It's something I've been keeping notes on, and I'm trying to chart a character arc. I'm drawing up blanks. Whereas with Sanji, it's been getting a little easier to see how Sanji will react to different things. And so I like how you see both of them in the same chapter. They get their moments. They get their moments of brilliance. And so I thought that that was interesting that Oda went this way. And then at the same time, you get, Jinbe getting ready to show what he's able to use. He uses that 7,000-pound brick in the roundhouse kick, and he knocks the giant monk on his ass after the giant monk just completely flatlines the Kraken, flatlines it. And everybody's like, oh, well, how can he knock back something so big? And then Sanji's like, yeah, Sanji don't skip leg day, yo, but like, how powerful his kicks? He's able to just knock him back on his feet after he was on his ass. How powerful his kicks? And it's just like, you look at it, and it's like you see the strong points in all of them. And it almost looks like with Zoro, and this is where I find this interesting. I'm answering my own question. But with Sanji and Jinbe, you get them teaming up. Zoro comes to the aid of Nico Robin, and yet when you have like a little diagram, it says Zoro versus. And then in the SBS corner for this, you get the Straw Hats with their own Jolly Rogers, which I've always said I feel like they could all have their own crew, okay? What's going on with Luffy and Zoro? And the reason why I say this is Luffy in this chapter is making the moves to go on to Vanderdecken, okay? But at the same time, I almost feel as if when you look at how Zoro is handling this, I almost feel as if Zoro would kind of get straight to the point, whereas it almost feels like Luffy's kind of dragging the whole situation with Vanderdecken and trying to get up there and whoop his ass and whoop Hody Jones' ass and resolve this whole conflict. I'm thinking Luffy's dragging it out a little bit, because when he frees Shirahoshi, right, it almost feels as if, like with Luffy, he knew damn well that the sea and everything was going to weaken his powers. He tried to free Shirahoshi, but at the same time, it's just like, shouldn't he be trying to get onto the land and then use that as an opportunity to get Hody Jones back to him? And I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to back off of that one. I'm back off of that one because this is starting to get off the rails a little bit. But the other thing I found interesting is when you get to Hody Jones and you get to Vanderdecken, they're having their little match. I like how one of the things you find out is Vanderdecken's like, you dumbass, I touched you with my left hand. And you see the sword just kind of sticking through Hody Jones, right? And Hody tells him, he says like, no, dummy, you betrayed me. You betrayed me first. And you see the back and forth with these two, which I've already told you, like, that's beautiful how you can relate that into real world stuff. But what I also found interesting is the fact that for a second it looked like there was going to be a mutually killing strike that comes. I was like, that's going to be completely total anticlimactic. That wasn't the direction Oda was going. Because when you look at it, right, looks like Vanderdecken got at least knocked unconscious. And you got Hody Jones saying, I'm going to kill Shirahoshi. I'm going to kill this princess. Kill the Neptune brothers. And then I'm going to get the fishmen out of here. And we're just going to completely flatline the whole island. And so the reason why I find this interesting is the longer that Luffy, whether this is out of his control or not, and you can argue a lot of this is out of his control, but the longer Luffy does not step in and deliver a decisive strike to just end this shit, go Gear 3 and just knock these dudes out, quit dicking around, the longer this happens, the greater chance that Luffy manages to have the island get destroyed. And the reason why I almost didn't want to say this, because Luffy has a very interesting line in this. Very interesting line. He says, that's what the last 2 years have been about. Me getting strong enough to protect everyone. And so that's why I was like, I want to back off, but at the same time, Luffy's actions are directly going against that in a way because you're dragging this shit out. So I'm interested to see the maturation process of Luffy now, because now it feels like he's being put on the spot. Feels like Oda's putting him on the spot. And I do think it's very interesting that one of the things that we get is in the SBS corner, you have Oda talk about how with all the other manga, usually you get the main character with all these super strong powers and everything. And he basically says that when it comes to a character like Luffy, he wanted to go with like the goofy stuff. And he says that I probably couldn't handle drawing a straightforward, cool, tough hero for too long. No matter how dark, no matter how serious the story gets, Luffy's still stretching, inflating, and so on. It gives me a chance to lighten the mood. And the reason why I think that's interesting is where we're at now, getting ready to go in the New World. You have all of this talk about how the New World's going to be filled with bloodshed or whatnot. And you got this serious situation. It almost feels as if Luffy's taking it seriously, and yet at the same time, he isn't taking it seriously. So I'm going to end my chapter review here by saying, do you think that if Luffy, still following the same shonen blueprint of the idiot main character, do you think Luffy, if he was a more serious character, would have stepped in sooner to try and end this? Or do you think he would have been getting the thrill of battle? But and that's not getting the thrill of battle. That's not what Luffy's about. But at the same time, it's like he's treating it like an adventure, so it's the same thing in a way. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Have a